I've tried to be very transparent this evening and hand out my talking points, so I'm not going to read them because you all have them. I consider the 59 of us in this room one team, and I would like to move forward with all types of discussion being one team. We all get to vote the way we feel like we should vote. This bill, there's nothing more important to me in the past 9 months than this bill. My mother passed away in February of this past year. She was on hospice. They gave her morphine towards the end, and she became very comfortable, and she passed away. My dad passed away 3 years ago. He was on hospice for about a year. Same thing. He became uncomfortable towards the end, about a week away from his death. They started giving him morphine. It relaxed his body, and he passed away peacefully. Both my mom and my dad said, I want to go when the Lord wants to take me. Whenever he's ready for me, I'm ready to go. And those are hard words to hear, but also comforting to know that we are not in control. Nobody wants to suffer. The whole point of a bill like this, I believe, is to curtail suffering. The other thing is that nobody gets to avoid suffering. And for us to walk down the slope, and I'm sorry that the language is a slippery slope, but if you look on page 2 of what I handed out, there's no state that has enacted this bill that has walked it back. They've only expanded it further. Oregon removed its residency requirement. Anybody can travel to Oregon now to take their life when they so choose. California, New Mexico, Canada to the north of us, every state and country that has enacted this has opened the guardrails over time and made it easier and easier to take one's life. The impact on Illinois' most vulnerable, the 1.5 million people with disabilities, is huge. At the end of the day, if you have a disability, mentally or physically, the question is introduced into your mind, do I want to keep going or do I want to take my life? And you need to have 2 doctors sign off. You given the medication, you take the medication home and you decide when to take it. The problem is anybody else can get a hold of the medication as well. There's no guardrail along that right now in the bill. You're given the bill, you're given the medicine, you take it home, and there's no follow-up or requirement by the state. So that's tremendous pressure on people psychologically, mentally walking forward. My wife is a chaplain in a hospital. She's seen many people come off of hospice. Many people have come off of hospice, and in this situation, it's one more opportunity for that person to decide, yep, I've got my 2 doctor's signatures, I'm gonna go ahead and take my life. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not right to introduce a culture of death into Illinois. We have never had this before. We've never had a situation where we are giving people an option to choose their life. We all, and 59 of us in this room, are compassionate, we care, and we want to preserve life the best as possible. This is going in the wrong direction. The unequal access to care in rural communities that don't have access to advanced hospice or palliative care would make it a whole lot easier for those small towns to get the 2 signatures and to sign off. There's no way that that's fair. The physician's oath, which is completely optional, the physician signs an oath that says they're to train to comfort, heal, and preserve life. Assisted suicide forces doctors into a role that contradicts their professional ethics. Illinois' values overall are at stake. Every person has the God-given dignity, worth, regardless of age, disability, or economic status, to have a value of life. Whether the Lord chooses to take somebody today or 50 years from now, it shouldn't be our choice to walk down that slippery slope, only to come back later to have a future General Assembly open the guardrails and allow more of this, like every other state that has enacted this. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, from a policy recommendations perspective, the opportunities to expand hospice and palliative care, the ability to increase funding for veterans' health care services, to support disability rights, to protect physicians' ethics. We have a whole lot of areas we can work. But ladies and gentlemen, if we vote tonight to open the door to the culture of death, it will go on for generations to come to see the historical and terrible damage that it's going to cause, because it just goes on and on and on, and it allows more people the option in the future to open the guardrails up.